Good morning, children. Our today's topic is life history and variation. First of all, we have actually already done this in the chapter of evolution. We should think that we have already done this in the chapter of evolution, that every organism evolved in the direction of achieving the reproductive fitness. It can be written like this also, that population evolved to maximize their reproductive fitness, and this is called as Darwinian fitness and can be represented as high R value, that means high reproductive fitness, and reproductive fitness in that habitat in which it is living. So under the particular set of selection pressure, that means all biotic and abiotic conditions are there, or whatever the food availability or space is available, what are the environmental conditions, in those conditions the organism is evolving towards the most effective, efficient reproductive strategy, that is called as reproductive fitness. Here some of the example of reproductive fitness are given, like in Pacific salmon fish and bamboo. These organisms just breed only once in their lifetime. But in comparison to these organisms, some of there are those who breed many times in their lifetime, and those are like birds and mammals. This is one of the example that how many numbers of time one organism breed. Second example is of that how many number of offspring do they produce. So some organism produce small sized offsprings but many in number, like oysters and pelagic fishes. But some other organism produces small number of offsprings but those are large in size, like birds and mammals. So that means every organism is maximizing what is desirable, that maximizing the reproductive fitness or maximizing the fitness. So ecologists suggest that every organism evolved in relation to the constraints, means restriction, imposed by the biotic and abiotic component of the habitat. That means what all abiotic and biotic conditions are there, in those conditions every organism has to evolve in the direction to achieve the reproductive fitness. Now here this topic is population interaction. That means none of the organism in our experience can live alone. For surviving any of the species, at least one more species is required to feed it upon. Even the plant also, those who can prepare their food of themselves cannot live alone, because they need the help of the soil microbes to convert the complex molecule into the simple inorganic nutrients. Those can be absorbed by the plants. First, interaction of the plants with the soil microorganism. Second, interaction of the plant is there with the pollinators, which helps in the process of pollination. So that way the plants are related to the microbes, they are interacting with the other animals, and plants and microbes do not and cannot live in isolation. That way all these interactions actually result into the formation of biological communities. These interaction may be not visible, they are not readily apparent, but they are there. Now these interactions can be interspecific interaction or can be interspecies interaction, and these interaction can be beneficial, can be detrimental, and can be neutral, means neither harmed nor benefit. So if they are beneficial, they are being shown by plus sign. If they are detrimental, then they can be shown by minus sign. And if there is no effect, not affected, then there is a zero sign. So here the first interaction is mutualism. It is the interaction of two species, in both the species are getting benefited. Other interaction is competition, in which both the species are harmed, or it is a detrimental interaction for both the species. Third is predation, in which one species is benefited but other is harmed. Predator is benefited but prey is harmed in predation. Then it comes the parasitism, in which again the one species is benefited but one is harmed. Here parasite is benefited but host is harmed. Commensalism is a type of interaction in which again one is benefited but other is unaffected, neither harmed nor benefited. And third is commensalism, in which one is harmed but other is not affected. So these are the type of the interactions, population interactions, which we are to take up in detail further. Here they have defined, which I was explaining you, that mutualism, in which both the species are benefited. Competition, both loss in competition, lose in interaction. Parasitism and predation, only one species benefit and other is harmed. For other it is detrimental. Okay, host is detrimental or harmed and prey is harmed in predator-prey relationship, but the parasite is benefited and predator is benefited. The interaction where one species is benefited, other is neither harmed nor benefited, is commensalism. But in amensalism, only one is harmed and other is unaffected. And predation, parasitism and commensalism, they have one common feature, that in this there is an interaction of species which they live closely together. It is a question of 1 mark, that what is common in predation, parasitism and commensalism, so that it is an interaction in which the species, those who interact with each other, they live closely together. Thank you. In the next video we will be discussing predation.